So guys, we're 7 games into the Premier League season now, and Arsenal have had a fairly decent start to the season in the Premier League, and I thought this would be a good time to so far give my views on how I think the season has been for us so far. So there's no you can't see me in this video. No one will see my incredibly beautiful face in this video, but So anyway, we're going to go and straight into this, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on how I think the season's been for Arsenal in the Premier League so far. So if you've come across this channel already, you should know by now that I'm a big Arsenal fan. I've been a season ticket holder for a few years now, and I've supported them pretty much my whole life, as this picture 100% legitimately shows you. So, and this season was our second full season with Unai Emery in charge. Arsene Wenger left off over 20 years of service, and Unai Emery came in at the start of last season, did an okay job, however failed to get us into the Champions League, and that is going to be his objective again this season. And at the time of recording, we sit on 4th place with 12 points off 7 games. We started our season pretty strongly with 2 wins out of 2 against Newcastle away and Burnley at home. Both the performances in that were pretty decent. Chambers made the Niles and Aubameyang standing out in the Newcastle one, and in the Burnley game, Danny Sabah stole the show with 2 assists, and that was a good start. However, the third game was a setback as we did get our first loss of the season at home. Away to Liverpool at Anfield, which was kind of expected. Liverpool, arguably the best team in the world. They're best. They were champions of Europe. They've got arguably the best goalkeeper in the world, arguably the best fullbacks in the world, arguably the best attack in the world. So it was kind of expected we were going to lose that. But Nicolas Pepe got his first start and did impress in that one. So after 3 games, we had 6 points of a possible 9, which is pretty decent, because in fact that the game we did lose was one we pretty much expected to lose. And in that game against Liverpool, it was a pretty okay performance as well. All 3 games, so up to that point, have been decent performances. So I was pretty happy going into the game against Spurs, the big North London derby at home. And in that home North London derby, it started really poorly. We went 2-0 down from goals from Harry Kane and Christian Eriksen. But we fought back much better in the second half. We got a late goal in the first half from Lacazette, and then Aubameyang equalised midway through the second. And again, it was an okay performance. Yes, we didn't play well at the start of the game going 2-0 down, but we showed a lot of fight to come back from 2-2. And the story of our season so far has been decent performances, but not spectacular. So we knew we needed a push. We needed some really good performances to kind of lift off our season properly, because it had been a pretty average start so far. However, what we did not need to do was do the opposite of what we did against Spurs away to Watford, where we drew 2-2 again. However, this time, instead of going 2-0 down to 2-2, we went 2-0 up and ended up throwing away a 2-goal lead there, which wasn't ideal. It was a pretty poor performance, if I'm being honest. No one really stood out as far as we were concerned. But so yeah, it was a pretty poor performance in that Watford game. And at that point, we were 5 games in and on 14 points. And then after a midweek fixture against Frankfurt in the Europa League, we played Aston Villa at home, with a lot of people expect it to be a kind of easy game. We were a lot better at home than we are away. In Villa, newly promoted side, even though we've got a few decent players in there, a lot of us expected it to be a relatively easy win. However, once again, we fell behind, going 1-0 down from an early goal by John McGinn, and then things were made worse by Ainsley Maitland-Niles getting sent off. So we're down to 10 men for the best part of an hour. And we got an equaliser through Nicolas Pepe penalty in the I think it was the 50th minute, getting his first goal for the club. But 90 seconds later, Wesley poked home after David Luiz allowed him to get in front of him. And then something incredible happened. Callum Chambers, with 10 minutes to go, a great finish after the ball luckily bounced back to him. And then 3 minutes after that, Aubameyang with free kick on the edge of the box smashed it past Tom Heaton and sent the Emirates into absolute raptures. And it was a great fight back again. And it was a brilliant game for the neutral, one of my favourite games I've ever been to. And it was really good to get a win after 2 draws. And after that, we had a massive game against Manchester United. And that game is the day... I'm filming this the day after that game was played. And we all know that. It was a pretty boring game. Not much really happened. It was a 1-1 draw. And, even though it wasn't the best performance, in the first half we were pretty poor. However, in the second half I thought we were really decent. David Luiz, Guendouzi and Saka for me were really good. And so that leaves us currently on 12 points from 7 games. So what do I overall think of our season so far? I think it's been okay. I think a lot of people are overreacting to the fact that Emery should get sacked. I don't think he should get sacked. I just don't think he's really done as well as what we expect him to do. But I don't think he's done a bad job. I just think that he's using some players a bit wrongly. Like Torreira is not like a creative midfielder. He's a defensive midfielder. He should be sitting at the base of the midfield. But I think I don't think Emery should get sacked. I feel like if he can get us into Champions League, then maybe give him one more season. I do think he should go if we don't get Champions League. But at the moment, it's looking like we can do. We're on an okay run of form. We're unbeaten in our last 6 games in all competitions, and I'm okay with how things are going so far. Most of our games have been okay performances. Apart from the Watford one, I think we can say in every game we've done okay in terms of our performance. Like even when we lost against Liverpool, we did pretty well. Our performance in that game was decent, and I'm okay with how things have started. So we've got a few big games coming up. Our next home game in the Premier League is against Bournemouth on Sunday. So hopefully we can get a few more wins. I feel like that's been the story of the season. We're not really getting many wins. We've got 3 draws out of 7 so far in the league. I think there's 3 wins, 3 draws and 1 loss, which isn't okay, but we need to be turning those draws into wins. So there are my overall thoughts on the season so far, guys. If you did enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe. FIFA 20's come out now, so hopefully I'll be getting more videos done in the future. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.